All right, system is booting up. Let's check in. Let's see. Twitch is live. Kick is coming online still. YouTube is coming online. YouTube is live. Um, Facebook, let's hit that go live over on Facebook. Twitch is live. Kick is coming online still. YouTube is coming online. Where's that sound coming from? Facebook is live. It is coming online still. All right, Facebook's up, and somebody's got the sound on. It's not Twitch. It's not Kick. It's not YouTube. All right, Facebook's up, and somebody's got the sound on. Facebook had the sound on. All right. All right. We are up on all platforms. We are live. This is the Sam Crescent Art Show featuring me, Sam Crescent, and I am working on my comic book Strength Monsters. This is a pretty much a daily live program. Strength Monsters is an action-packed adventure series that I've been working on, filled with lots of mayhem, monsters, and other things of that nature. If you haven't joined me before, welcome. If you have been here before, welcome as well. It is Tuesday, May 12th, 2026. We have the summer quickly approaching. We have lots of conventions coming up here that I will be at, including this coming weekend at the Ontario, California Comic Fest. No, not Comic Fest, Comic Revolution. And other shows I will be at: Creep IE in July, Designer Con in Pasadena in June, Phoenix Fan Fusion beginning of June, Rose Bowl Flea Market next month. So and other stuff I think, but I don't remember. I've got to get warmed up here. It is a little earlier today, about 5:30 in the morning. Excuse moi for blowing my nose. 5:30 in the morning. Got to get my drawing brain warmed up. A lot to do today. Needed to get an early start. Needed to get a early punch in the day. Proverbial punch of the day going, as they say. And that's pretty much the whole thing. And unfortunately, I wish I could just start these streams out with something exciting. Like I just start drawing some crazy, super badass thing just right out the gate. Maybe I should. Maybe I'll start doing my warm-ups before I start the stream. And then when I start the stream, I'll be working on something cool. Like at least like these circles and stuff. I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm going to draw all my circles before the stream starts. And then that way, when the stream starts, I'll be doing something more entertaining, because I do this every stream. And if somebody, I mean, nobody's going to actually watch these whole streams, but if somebody did, this is going to be really boring, because literally there's just nothing being made right now. But these drills and exercises are absolutely essential to me to get my drawings up and going. So that's why I do them. And it does feel like I feel like I'm kind of plateaued on these circle exercises. Like I don't feel like my drawings of circles are really exponentially improving all that well, but I don't think the exercise is necessarily about being able to lay out perfect circles. Those are some pretty good straight lines. So I think I'm going to change my technique a little bit. And I'm going to try and draw more shoulder and see if I can perfect these circles more instead of drawing so much wrist. Take my jacket off, man. Is it actually warm in here? I don't know. But maybe if I go more shoulder. Let my arm be the hinge. Yeah, it does feel like it maybe helps a little. Now I'm going the opposite direction. Notice those circles I was going this way. Now I'm going this way. Okay, here's just wrist. Wrist. Shoulder. Shoulder. Shoulder circle. Shoulder. Shoulder. Let's go back this way. Shoulder. 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 Der shoulder. 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 Okay. Good enough. What the heck, man? That started out, it was a good box, and then it went awry. Okay. A little bit low. Put that there. I'm trying to rotate this box, but it wasn't very boxy. Just do that one again. Derailed. I don't know, man. Fix this here. There we go. Now we've got some rotation with this box. Let's pull up Bridgman now and do some Bridgman studies. And I've got an idea for what I want to do here. Where did he go? Here we go. All right. So we've got this hand situation here. And yesterday I drew this hand, and if I were to block it out, it's a little too thick here, it would have been like this. And then we had fingers in here. There, that was the hand. So I'm just looking at like the really primitive kind of blocked out shape of it. These two fingers were actually not that close together. They were separated a little bit more. It was basically that. Now, he's got another hand on the same page. It's facing the other way. Looks like this. A little too wide. So it'd have been blocked like that. I'm just looking at these little blocked shapes for hands and going, okay, I'm not gonna my visual memory is gonna be able to recall basic blocks easy. So if I can kind of get this in, then I can figure out the rest later. Now this one's kind of it actually continues here. Kind of like that. You don't see the thumb still. All right, let's draw the hand, this hand. And it's my angle's off. It needs to go here. So this is from Bridgman's book, The Book of 100 Hands, page 22. It's the Google digitized version of it. So you can, I'll pull up the reference and show it to you. He has these two fingers together in this one. This hand's out here. So, kind of like that. It's got some knuckles in here. Knuckles there. Go through this and just kind of flesh it out a little better. This is an angle here. I don't like that. Well, a little too crazy with that knuckle. This comes up and it actually curves there and then comes down. There's overlap and then it tucks back. Here we go. This up. Bends here. Let me redo this angle. Bends here and it goes more like that. Doesn't have that like swooped up thing. This one's here. Kind of follows along, comes down. Too big. More like kind of more there. Let's clean that up. More there. There. This one's a little thicker. Then he's got this gap here. Whoa. And then this finger comes up here like this. That's bad. There. There. Now these fingers here, these two middle fingers, they're just way too thin. Let's get them right. Yeah, I think my mistake here is these two fingers are together, so they need to be thought of as one shape. Like that. Then we can separate them out. It's kind of a weird hand. Something like that. Something here. It's a weird hand, though, overall. I like this hand better, just the overall shape of it. Let's go to a different one from this. I'll pull a reference over here so you can see. There's the Bridgman hand. There's mine. Now that they're side by side, I can see clearly where mine's off. Let's do another one. Let's just try to get it. Whoops. Didn't mean to make that bigger. And we'll put it right there. We'll draw side by side Bridgman and see if we can get it to work better. Went way too far down with that overlap. And there we go. There's a better hand. I think it went better that one than the other one. Well, one, I have the reference right next to the drawing. And two, I was thinking the whole thing about the shape of the whole thing. Let's go to the next page. This is like not the greatest page anyway. All right, so let's look at these. This is kind of interesting here. We've got some. Whoops. We can look at that one. It's not completed, but he's showing the muscles of the hand a bit. Let me see here. Kind of think this one's more interesting, and he has the bone of it. Let's do that one. This one is pretty incomplete. I can try to complete it, but I don't really want to try that yet. I need to get a little more better with the basic anatomy and structure of the hand. But we'll do this one. We'll do this one. So let's see here. Man, this is too. No. Got there. There. It's an interesting thumb. More like that. Nope. This is going this way, cutting this way, and this cuts that way. That's like, that's important shapes right there that I wasn't paying attention to for that thumb. Put the nail on here like this. Put a nice perspective on there. Now you got the muscle here overlapping, coming down. There. There. That finger there. And he's got this finger coming out here. And these knuckles, there's like a relationship there. These knuckles are in a relationship right now. Now, I see this if I was finishing it. It's kind of coming down here. Let's see. And then he's got turning here. All right, there we are. No. There we go. There's that hand right there. And this one is more, I think the angle's more here. Let me see. No. Look at the angle this way. Boom, boom. Yeah, it was actually pretty close right there. Here. Here. Let's go with an eraser through this. I'll get that. And then down here, because he's got like a very distinct side plane of that one. The fourth finger, you can't see it because it's turned away. Got the bone here of the ulna. And he's got the bone here of the radius. This guy's got bony wrists. But I guess we all kind of do, don't we? And yeah, this is actually all in kind of one line. Thicken that up a little bit, maybe. Something like that. I mean, now it's like we can kind of put this one wherever we want. That would go there, something like that. Now let's take a look at his anatomical breakdown of it. This shape is like very cool, and part of the reason why these hands are going better, in a way, it's like you kind of have to, I'm almost thinking you got to get out of drawing boxes when it comes to hands. So what I was doing here, drawing a box, it was actually making it harder. It makes it easier for moving the thing around in perspective, but if you can get an organic shape like that, that's why it's, the drawing went easier, I think. There's the muscle coming in. That's like a shape like that. So that could be helpful, just knowing that you've got this sort of shape like that in the muscle that overlaps where the thumb is. Get this index finger in here. It's got a knuckle indication. Oh, I'm looking at that one instead of this one. Duh. Okay, so there is no index finger there. Here is the bone. I think they're called the phalanges, something like that, of the hand. Then in here you've got all these bones, like I forgot the name: the capitate, the hamate, the pisiform, the and he does not have them all drawn in. He just has this, and really you don't actually need to be able to draw those in because you're never gonna see them. Here's the radius right here, radial bone. It's got the radius here, and then this one here is the ulna. The radius is on the thumb side, the ulna is on the pinky side. But this is actually really helpful for, you know, how these plug in together. And that plugs in there. In this drawing, in this one, he draws the bone of the finger here. Same thing with this one. He's drawing less of the flesh. And more of the bone. Now this can be helpful because you notice it here, and there's a hollow, and it goes like this. So like when you're drawing, we'll go over that later. Hold on. He has this one kind of articulated up. Go ahead and finish it out. And then here, let's just like make this clear. Goes there, there. And down. And he's got the hollow here. So it's like, if you wanted to draw, you know, like, for example, here, if you wanted to draw tension, I don't know why it's doing that. How do I get that to go away? There we go. You know, you draw some tension on it there. Oops. Looks like most of this study, though, is this fat pad that he's looking at. Not fat pad, the muscle pad. All right, that's it for today. We got to move on to drawing the actual comic book. So Bridgman, I'm putting Bridgman away. And I'm going to keep working on the hands. I did some torsos yesterday as well. Pull up this comic book page that we're working on here. Got all these characters in this scene. I need to turn some of these guys off. This is the background guys. Main characters. I could just turn the whole layer off. That's the main characters. Background characters. Got all these. So I've got these two characters. I need to fill in some people there. So try to get that done. Excuse me, guys. All right. All right, so we need to do something different with each one of these. Let's see what we can do here. Um, let's change this guy a little bit. We'll make him in his military stuff. Let's draw his face right away. No, looking straight on. So I'm just gonna do a nose, kind of that. Allergies are a little bit. Sinuses are a little bit full today. Let's see here. I don't want to just. I'm bored with drawing just like a military guy. I'm just making up a different looking character now. And I'm giving him an ascot. I think that's what this is. I'm gonna keep this arm on his hip. This arm, we're gonna have him do something like this. I mean, we could just make it a fist. Here. No. trying to think what I want to do here. No. Do this. Trying to make. I want to do something else with this arm besides put it on his hip. It's just too boring. Give him some kind of a more of an action. Do that. So this shoulder is going to be raised up more like that. And then shirt's going to kind of come down here. Arm's coming out like that. No, let's do it the other way. Let's see here. Oop. No. Something like that. I'll have to fix that fish later. So now because of that, this is going to be like this. He'll put his pants up really high. Can have a belt. And what kind of clothes should this guy have on down here? Maybe something weird. I don't know. Give him some bell bottoms. There we go. His arm's a little too short. Let's kind of lengthen it out. There we go. And then we've got to get the shoes on him. There we go. We'll make these low. We'll make these low cut shoes like that. That works well enough for now. Let's go in and finish this thing off. Get this thing to work here. Do. Let's get this hand dropped in now. Let's see if we can get this hand to work here. The thumb's going to be behind here, so you won't even see it. And then we have this fat pad here. Put these two together. There's the pinky. These fingers are a little bit too long, so I'm going to just pull them in. That's it for that hand. Get the muscle going there. Pull that up a little bit. Let's see here. This guy kind of. Pull that in. Just get this stuff kind of mapped in a little more. Now let's give them pleats. Pull that up. Go. How's this guy looking? Drawing the silhouette. I mean, these aren't even bell bottoms. I don't even know what these are. These are just pants that don't even exist. Whoops. Maybe we can make some sense out of this hand now. So let's see here. This knuckle's here. This has got to go. No wrong. It's a weird fist, man. Let's see if we can make some sense out of that fist. Otherwise, I'm going to have to pull up some reference or something because I'm not seeing it. Okay. Looks like I made some sense out of it just by holding my own fist up. You know, I'm making this thumb come from the wrong place. That's why it's weird looking. There. That's a little too far out. There we go. Erase all this. Erase this, and then we'll see what else is wrong with it. Put that out there more. All right, let's go to outline this guy here. Whole forearm just looks way wonky. That's a little better. There. There's that forearm muscle there. All right, now let's just put in some of these shadows that I outlined. And some of the line weights here. Putting my jacket back on. All of a sudden, it's like getting cold in here. Oh. Go with a G pen. Gotta draw this guy's shoes, I guess. Like that. Let's draw this dude's shoes. You can turn off the background character. We don't need that. I'm gonna do this. This is kind of combat boots, and it doesn't go with him, so something like that. And for the shoelaces, kind of want to just draw the area in between. We'll get the tongue like that. There we go. For this one, there we go. Got his shoes in there. All right, that guy's done. Let's see here. Check this. Um, Really quickly, I need to check my library. It just popped in my head. I ordered all of these books to get sent to my local library, and I better make sure that I didn't not get them. And it's showing that I have 8 books and they're still in transit. So they haven't got to my library yet. It's been almost a week. And when I was searching online, the Gemini AI is like, oh, libraries are pretty efficient. It'll be there in like 3 days or something. I'm like, definitely not 3 days. Just shows you how these AIs don't know jack diddly, man. Why did I do that? That doesn't do anything to help anything. No, it's a bunch of nonsense. Just leave it. Okay. What's next? Let's do another one. I need to finish this page. It's been taking me. What the? So I have this guy here, which I've already drawn him, so I need to make him I need to make a different guy. So I'll do that. Let's see. This guy's going to be the mascot. Now I've got the new one. Do this guy like this. All right. Let's see here. I gotta think here. Think about what I could do. What can I do to make this guy look cool? All right, let's see here. Hmm. Yeah, I think something like this will work. I could give him a spacesuit, but I want to do more like spikes and stuff. Um, I'm gonna look up 70s workout clothes really quick. See if there's anything. Yeah, tank top with high socks. It's also these like windbreakers. Forgot about windbreakers. Those were big back in the day. I think I'll do some kind of dorky looking windbreaker. All right, where's my thing? So I'm not gonna just make him holding a rifle. Whoops, wrong thing. Well, there was like a reference of a windbreaker and it's gone now. That had like a weird design. Oh well, lost the image I was looking at. So just have to make it up. Okay, so here, let's make sure I'm on here. Okay, let's kind of get this guy here. Make him like this. Let's start with his face here. Try and move a little faster now. Not be so sleepy, you know? That. There. Okay, drop that face in pretty quick. Yeah, we'll put a headband on this guy. Maybe a bandana. We'll put a bandana on this guy here. Terrible bandana. Got to have an ear over here, you know. All right, so now he's got an ear. He's got a bandana on. What's the next thing we could put on this guy? Let's see here. Draw his neck. And shirt's gonna be like this actually. Give him a V-neck shirt. Some pecs here. We'll give him some chest hairs. Those neck muscles in there. Go like that. All right. Okay, now we'll go with the zipper here. That's his jacket, his windbreaker. Yeah, that's fine. I'll go more here. What if I went that? There we go. Yeah, now I kind of need to come up with what the rest of the pose is going to be for this dude. He's got a windbreaker on. He's got a tight shirt underneath, some chest hair, bandana. Put this one down like that. We'll lean him this way a little bit here. We'll just make him waving like that. Why? I don't know. I mean, this dude is like, these are background characters. Or we could make him go. Let me see here. Let's see if we do some overlap here. Make him grabbing his own jacket like that. No, I know what he'll be doing. Cancel. I know what I'll make him do. Maybe he's adjusting his zipper. So he'll be, hand will be here. Like that. That's it. Okay. Here's what we're going to do now. We're going to go like this, and then this is going to poof in. He's going to have a bandana on right there. His windbreaker comes out like that. Poofs in again. He's got another bandana right here. And then bring it in here. Yeah, do something like that for the design. These are his bandanas. So this guy's like windbreaker bandana dude. Now I need to figure out how he's going to draw this hand. It's going to be like this. I'll just take it and put it together there. Try this again. Ah. All right, I got to get my brain turned on here and get this hand dropped in. Boy, I'm struggling this morning. 6:43. Started a little around 5:30. No. Let's see. Let's look at Bridgman again. Maybe Bridgman will help me with this hand. If I go up to this Bridgman one that we were looking at before. Something like that. Let's see here. That pad. That's better. All right, there we go. Now I've got the hand in place. We'll go with we'll just leave it right there. It's gonna work fine, I think. So let's just clean up the drawing now. Get some of this. No, I'm not gonna do that. That's straight. Nope. All right, so now I've got to just finish this off. Clean up my sketch lines here because I had to make so much stuff up with this guy. What is this? Cancel. I don't want to close out. Let's just minimize Bridgman so it's out of the way. Got to finish this guy's windbreaker here. Still got to draw that hand too. I'm on the G pen. Interesting. All right, we'll get this hand in here. Let's just get it out of the way. Think of that. It's not a fat pad. It's muscle. All right, there we go. Let me think here. What else? That hand's kind of big. Knock it down a little bit. It's a little too big. There we go. It's going to go in here. So just want to get this put in, get this pants put in. We've got the face dropped in pretty quick. Let's get some kind of designy stuff. We'll get some designy stuff going like this. Yeah, let's do more like this. Curve and up. There we go. So you got some kind of designy stuff there. Comes in, we'll have it taper and have the elastic here. And then same kind of designy thing here. And then let's do like some kind of like a rainbow thing coming out of his crotch. It's kind of weird. The triangle right there. And then put some decor down here. We'll just do it like this. Those will all be different colors and stuff. And then for his shoes, he probably just needs tennis shoes on, so something like that. There, we'll just do that for the tennis shoe there on that side. Sometimes tennis shoes you can make like kind of weird designs like this. There we go. That looks more tennis shoey. Tennis shoey. I just made up a word. Now I got to do this guy. Fix this here. This pretty bad. Pretty bad. This one's too big, but that's okay. We'll just shrink it down. What the heck did I draw here? There we go. Just make this the same size as the other one. Kind of about like that. All right, that works. Let's turn off these and let's get this guy finished out. Let's get the under sketch removed. Oh, all right. Going for an hour 24. Okay. Pin. Check the chat really quick. See if there's anything going on there. No. Usually, I get more. If I streamed more in the middle of the day, I get more interaction and stuff. But I called them Windbreaker Breakdown, but maybe it should be Windbreaker Breakout. Windbreaker, not Breakdown. Windbreaker Break. I like doubling up on the breaks. Like Windbreaker Breakout. I think Windbreaker Breakout's good enough, actually. Let's just stay with my first subconscious intuition on that. Oops, pen. So work around this guy, give him his silhouette value here. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. Most of the books that I order at the library one of them is on anime. No, it's on manga history. Another one is on Sharpie art, which I used to do Sharpie art all the time. So I'm just curious to see kind of like what it is. The problem with Sharpies, though, you have to realize is it actually is non-archival, and the ink will turn purple over time. Like literally, Sharpie ink, it turns purple, kind of a purplish black color. It doesn't stay black, and depending on what kind of paper you have it on too. But it's permanent, but you know, you see comic book pages where artists have used Sharpies and they're like 30-year-old pages. It's changed colors. And that's why it's like, I saw this artist and he was signing these prints, like not their canvas prints, nice ones. And he was signing them with a Sharpie. And I'm thinking, dude, it's not archival, bro. Your people that are buying those prints, and I know they're paying, I think like 300. I keep saying like, I've got to stop saying that. I think they're paying around $350 a print for the canvas prints that he had, and he's signing them all with a Sharpie. Guys, Sharpies are not that archival. They're permanent, but they will change color over time. There's better pens and better ink you can use to sign your stuff that is expensive and all that. I do have comic books. I believe they have been signed with Sharpies. I prefer paint pens and things of that nature. But I'm not a signature collector really, although for a while I was at all these conventions where there's so many celebrities adjacent that I thought, oh, I could take advantage of this. And I started painting paintings of the celebrity's character and then just paying to have them sign it. And I did a few of these. And then my plan was just stick the painting with signed by the celebrity into my safe, into the vault, and then just wait until they die, and then throw it out there and try and sell it for profit. The problem with that strategy now is there's a number of problems. The first one is it might take a really long time for these people to die, and in which case, and a lot of them are like signing so much that even by the time they do die, their signature is not going to have much value because it's not going to be rare. So most of the celebrities that you see at conventions doing convention tours and stuff, their signature is absolutely probably not going to hold its value or be anywhere near worth what they're charging for it. It's like a Stan Lee signature. Stan Lee signature, not really valuable. That guy literally signed hundreds upon hundreds of thousands of things in his lifetime. So many things that it's not rare. The demand is still high enough that you can get money for a Stan Lee signature, but that's the case. You think about these celebrities that are going around, and a lot of them, they're charging about $50 starting for a signature. And so you have them sign something that's $50, whatever the value of the thing is, whatever you paid for them to sign, skateboard deck, whatever. Now you've got to sell that for the price of the collectible plus an additional $50 to cover the cost of the signature, if not more. And then you realize that this person is going someplace every weekend and signing hundreds of items. And at the end of the year, they're signing thousands of things. And you realize that each year that signature you have is becoming less valuable. And that as long as that person still stays alive. And plus, I didn't like it because I'm like, well, I'm gonna like try to capitalize off these people dying, you know? Because my thinking is like, once they're dead, nobody can get a signature anymore. So you think that it will, your logic brain thinks that these signatures are going to go up in value once the celebrity's not here, but the reality is it doesn't really matter. It's more kind of comes down to how many items they signed while they were alive is the bigger factor as to how much value that signature has, and then how relevant their work stays after their passing. So, you know, for example, it's like I paid, when I was doing this, I was paying like $40 for a lot of voice actors to sign a painting that I'd done of their character. And I'm like, most of these voice actors are going to be completely irrelevant in the next 30 years. These cartoons aren't being watched by the next generation. It's going to be replaced with something else. No one's going to care about, you know, what character they were. And so I really did come to the conclusion that it was not a good idea. And so I didn't do it that many times. Just a few. So I have a few things, and I'll probably sell them. Like, I'm not gonna wait till the celebrity dies and sell it. I'll probably sell the stuff sooner than later. See what it looks like if I take, no, let's leave that in. And try and get my money out of it, because in a lot of ways, the longer you wait, the less value there is around their signature, because they've signed so many things. But there's a lot of signature collectors, but that's a different kind of a game. The signature collecting thing is more, people like having their these are things that people love. You know, maybe it's like Friday the 13th stuff, maybe it's Freddy stuff, maybe it's, you know, whatever it is. And they like having their stuff customized, they like having it signed. Yeah, they trade, and they'll trade with each other different signatures from different, you know, things that they've collected. They have this whole thing of like, can I get this guy, can I get that guy? So it comes about like the hunt. You know, there's travel and trips of, oh, I'm going to travel over to, you know, North Carolina to go to this show so I can get this guy on my poster because I've got everybody else, but that's the last one. So there's a kind of like a mission involved, a goal setting, sense of accomplishment. So I can understand the whole signature collecting culture a little more from that point of view. Guy's done. All right. Save this up. Let's see here. I think there's one more background character I have to draw on here. And I don't know if I'm going to do it today. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. Turn on the background characters. Yeah, we need to do one more female. So this is done. That's done. That's the last one. Let's see if I can just knock it out, because then all the characters, not all the characters are still not all drawn, but all the full figured background characters are done. This is another pose I already drew that I flipped and put over here as a placeholder. So, gotta design her. And I think she'll be wearing high socks. Tennis shoes, or come up with an idea for an outfit here. Leotard. We could put her in a leotard. The leotard, it's not made a comeback, but it's not really that interesting either, you know? It's just kind of not that interesting. Let's see here. I'm going to look on Pinterest and see if I can find like 70s fashion, leather jackets, and goofy shirts with big collars. Not interesting enough. Maybe if we go with armored suits. Now we're just getting all kinds of dumb looking things here. Maybe if we go with sports pads. See if we get any good ideas. Okay, so we've got shoulder pads, we've got different kinds of harnesses, knee pads that I've not seen before. This is kind of more interesting here. Maybe I'll do some kind of different sports pads that might be a little bit more that I can modify somewhat. Maybe I'll put her in a leotard with sports pads. That might be pretty cool. So let's go let's search for leotards. All too normal looking here. Let's go for like a 70s leotard. Yeah, I gotta finish this because my birthday's coming up in October. So it's still a ways off, but it's gonna be here before we know it. And it's gonna be a big one. So I wanna have there's some things that I want to have had accomplished at that point. And so whoops. Just saw a weird one. It was like a leotard with a belt. Pretty strange. All right, so let's draw this girl. We got to start with the face and go from there. You know, and make her smile. Something like that. And I'm going to give her like really crazy kind of spiky, more short hair. Just get this. There's a couple of shows going on that kind of undecided about too. I'm kind of thinking of skipping them just because I want to focus on building up more my own online infrastructure and such, but okay, so now got a face in here. And she's going to be wearing a leotard. And then I'm just going to put the pads on over the leotard and the figure once I have it drawn. So there's the pose right there, kind of. The hips here. Like that. There. Leotards went like this. Okay. Goes kind of like that. High socks. And I'm just gonna ignore this pose under here and just do a new pose because I've already drawn this pose once. It's boring to me. Let's make this the weight leg here. That like that. No, because this yeah, that would work because when this hip is up, this leg straight, then this leg is bent. So that works. So we'll make this hip up, this hip down. Hips are going like that. Knees here. High socks. High socks. Tennis shoes there, tennis shoes there. And then do that. All right, there we go. Okay, I'm just gonna knock this down and then just delete this off completely, make a new layer, and use that as the understructure since I decided to change the whole thing. You know what I'm gonna do? We're gonna put straps right here. Because I swear I've seen this in old leotards where they have like straps that are adjustable. Probably they don't really use them, but put them on there anyway. Go there. And the leotard though comes down and goes like this anyway. And I call this the uniboob. We'll make the uniboob. I don't know if that's the actual definition of a uniboob, because I know women have their own definition of that, where they're like, I don't like this bra, it's giving me uniboob. But I don't recall what exactly a uniboob is, so I'm just making up my own version of a uniboob. I think if it was a real uniboob, it would just be like this, and it wouldn't go like that. So, I mean, I could give her like the quintessential uniboob, and we would just draw this across. But it's less interesting, you know. Keep it as is. All right, now have her come down, and then we're gonna just have her hips come right out. Whoa. Let's get these biceps in here. She's got some muscle on her arms, I guess. Nah, she can't have arms that muscular. So I was making her body more on the thick side. Might be a little too much. So she can't have super muscular arms. But there'll be some muscle there, you know. That works. And then the leotard comes down like this and comes up. We have a strap here on this side. I'm gonna have to go wake people up in 5 minutes. And then this is the leotard. come on like that. And then these straps, though, they have to go somewhere. Where do they go? Got to go down here. Here. And she's going to have this belt on. Okay. Now that works because now the straps actually go to something. And then I'm going to do that. There. And then she'll have this like tube top that comes around like this that goes here. No, I'll do this way. I'll just be one. I think it'll just be a single line. Unless we want to do something like that. Or we want to do one of those. Just do this. What the heck happened, man? Let's draw this fist here. It's a huge fist. And it's a huge arm. So we're going to have to make it a little smaller. Oops, I meant to erase this off. All right, that'll work. That. I gotta start speeding up here. I gotta move this throwing along. That works. Okay, now for these legs, not that interesting unless I do something more with them. There we go. I mean, I'm not going to do leg warmers because it would be too much going on. Whoops. That works. Then for this one, fix this here. All right, we'll get this other tennis shoe put in here. You know what's going to look better is if this is just a big shape here. Like that. Now, these proportions are a little off. Let's fix it. The lower legs were just like way too short. Yes, pretty much there. Let's finish her off now. Let's finish the face. Let's redo the face, or I'll just draw the face again. See if I can improve it a little bit more. Whoa. All right, let's finish this up. Actually, I gotta go. I'm gonna save this. I gotta go wake some people up. Then I'll be back and I'll finish this. All right, just woke everybody up. I think I might adjust this one more time here. Just slightly. Whoops. I don't know. Now are the lower legs too long? Nah, it's fine. All right, let's draw this. Let's finish this up. Let's go with the outline and we'll just get this done. I lost my line. Here we go. All right, let's see what we can get going on here. Well, I don't know why I'm skipping the shoe. It's all there. Well, I would go maybe. Okay. Sometimes this part of the drawing is
more fun because it's easy. You're not really problem solving as much. But also you get to finally see it kind of come together. To a degree. Now the thing is, if I did like an outline shape of all of the hair, I don't think it's gonna work as well. I think it's gonna look better if I just go on one side of some of these hairs. All right, that's good. Now, put in some more line weights here. We'll go um there. We'll start at the top. I'll just let's do it the G pad. A couple of hairs have to go in front of the ear. Maybe not there. I don't know. They don't have to. I can just leave it. There we go. I think that's it. All right. Okay, I'm done for the day. I will be back tomorrow with another live. Hopefully, I have more things to talk about. We're going to be on the final stages of this page. Thanks for joining me. The stream is going to be done. Signing off. That's all.